This is a MeidasTouch exclusive. You've never heard these details before. They come from Michael Wolff. Michael Wolff is Donald Trump's former biographer. Michael Wolff was also going to be Epstein's biographer. Michael Wolff met with Jeffrey Epstein multiple times, spent hours and hours with Epstein, heard things from Epstein that nobody has heard before. So Michael Wolff is going to share these things with you. Michael Wolff also has connections deep inside the White House right now and connections very close to Donald Trump. Why? Because Wolff is Donald Trump's former biographer. He's developed this information. Now, Wolff has exclusive details. Over the past 24 to 48 hours, Donald Trump has apparently been calling up close confidants to tell them, I didn't kill Epstein, right? It wasn't me who did that, right? Do you know that? I want you to hear it in Michael Wolff's words, what Trump is allegedly saying to people that he knows. But I also want you to hear from Michael Wolff about other things that Epstein told him that led to August of 2019, when eventually Epstein died. Allegedly died by suicide. So this is never before seen or heard exclusive content. What is Donald Trump saying about how Epstein died? Okay. What did Epstein say to Michael Wolff before his death? Stunning words. I want you to watch now. Hey, Michael, tell us, give us this exclusive info.
I had a conversation yesterday with someone who speaks to Trump often, and this person had spoken to Trump in the last 48 hours. Now, a really good way to understand what's on Trump's mind is to track the conversations that he has with this set of people who he calls often. I think my feeling has always been that that Trump needs to think out loud and calling this list of people who he appears to trust, even though they might call me afterwards, is a way really to follow exactly what is on Trump's mind. In this conversation that he had within the last several days, he said to this person, "People say I had Epstein killed. I didn't have Epstein killed," Trump said. And then this person said, "Well, do you think that he was killed?" And Trump replied, "A lot of people wanted him dead." I find this, to be honestly, a chilling conversation, which I've been thinking about. The idea that the President of the United States would have to say and go out of his way to say that he hadn't had someone killed seems chillingly to imply that he could have had someone killed. And there's a way that Trump has often spoken about his belief that assassinations, both domestic and foreign, have been freely carried out by the United States government. And then the idea that there are a whole population of people who wanted Epstein dead, and Trump seems to include himself in this, and again, it's that sense on the part of Trump that he believed Epstein knew too much. And certainly in the case of Trump, Epstein could fill in a whole part of the Trump background. Those early days, Trump's early days in the real estate business, in New York. And the real estate business in New York is filled with, matter of fact, I don't know how you can be in the real estate business without having direct connections to organized crime. Certainly that was one of the things that Epstein talked about. There are years in which the two of these guys were pursuing models, doing whatever they could to get these women. This period in Trump's life when there have been accusations after accusations by a whole lineup of women. And then this was the period in Trump's life of his bankruptcies. And Epstein had an interesting view on this, because Trump was forgiven personal loans that he had guaranteed personally of about $1 billion. Now, when you're forgiven personal loans, that immediately becomes income. And Epstein would talk about his involvement with Trump in hiding this money from the IRS. What did Epstein know about Trump? That's a foundational question here. And I've spent a lot of time thinking about the ways in which Epstein was a clear threat to Trump, and especially after he became the president of the United States. But I think it's also important to think about what kind of threat Trump was to Epstein. I know at one point when Epstein would show me these pictures of Trump, again, it was I would describe these before, but a set of about a dozen Polaroid pictures, 3 of which I specifically remember. 2 with different girls sitting on Trump's lap, topless, and then a third with a telltale stain on the front of Trump's pants, with 4 or 5 girls pointing at this, topless girls pointing at him and laughing. And I urged Epstein. I said, you should release these pictures. I mean, if for no other reason, and Epstein was already in trouble and already a figure which people were, he was already demonized. I said, maybe this will even help you. You can be on the side of right here. And I remember Epstein said, again, chilling at the time, he said, I may be a pervert, but I'm not crazy. And then he said, Trump is a man without any scruples. Chill went up my back then. And I think this brings us to August 10th, 2019, in that jail cell. And obviously all of the questions about what happened that morning are involved with why this story keeps going. And the question, I think that the largest question hovers over that is what did Donald Trump know about what happened that night? And I think in all of the Epstein files, that is the singular and pivotal question we need answered.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.